Hey, welcome back, everybody. Just a quick breakdown of today's frequencies and transmissions and things that have been coming through today. There's a lot happening in the spiritual consciousness of humanity, and there's a lot of realizations happening. There's a lot of paths shifting. There's a lot of stuff shifting all over the planet. And if you are hyper aware of what's happening on the planet, then you know that big changes are coming. Big changes. I mean, we're talking from the financial economy to geopolitical structures to, everything. So, but some of the frequencies that's coming in today is, there is this ideology that some people believe that they have the way. I'm not a believer that I have the way. I'm not a believer that my way is the way. I don't believe that there is a way. And I believe that's why the gate is narrow. Because the real way is not the path in which you take to get there. The real way is the realization that you know nothing. There is no knowingness except for the knowingness of nothing. When I speak to people and whenever I make transmissions and stuff, I want a lot of people to comprehend that I'm alchemizing my consciousness onto a lower state of beingness just so that I can transmit a frequency. And a lot of people would say, well, you don't have to lower yourself down. Well, I've seen it to be effective. I believe in purpose for resonating at that higher state of frequency when you are around people, when you go to Walmart, when you go to these places where there's a lot of people around you, which a lot of you probably don't go to Walmart, which is good. I certainly hope not. But when we go to these places that are surrounded with humans, we have comprehension that we are resonating our higher dimensional frequencies with them on a subtle level. And in fact, just sitting here in this room, I'm doing that with all of humanity. Your scalar waves pass through anything that's solid. They pass through anything. But, I spoke this morning about the reason why I chose the middle path. I stood at the void of the womb of creation. I've looked into the eyes of, you can say it this way. This is just symbolic. I've looked into the eyes that don't exist. I've looked into the eyes of Ein Sof. I've looked into the eyes of Isis. I've looked into the eyes of Gaia. I have. And found great introspection in doing so. But I stood at that threshold in my life, and I've done it more than once. I've reached that state of transcendence through layers of suffering in my life. Through going through great suffering. And I realized that suffering was a reflection of what I needed so that I could have this surrender to the divine that is within me, so that I could become the wholeness of Patrick, the wholeness of myself. It's like the trees out here beyond us, they are birthed with that wholeness. They become their wholeness. They are their wholeness. They just are that they are. But humans, we have this beautiful aspect to us, which is storytelling, creation, playing, We can play a lot. Create worlds. And that's what we've always been doing. That's what we've done with the Great Deception. That's what it is. It was a creation that we created, that we chose. What I'm doing, is not going to war with that. I'm transmuting that. I am a symbol of the shift. I am just an expression of the changing. When I stood at that great threshold and looked into the womb of creation, I said, well, good and evil, it's a lie. The devil, all of those things are lies. But they are real because people believe in them. So they manifest in a very real way. Demons, deities, all of these beings are not the truth. None of them. But they are real due to the nature that humanity, well, not humanity, but consciousness, is the source of all beingness. I've said this before. The imagination is the primordial soup of creation. The human capacity to tap into imagination is the human capacity to look into the window of our truth. The window of the primordial soup of creation. Not only is it a window, but a portal in which we can invoke creation from. The grid, the consciousness grid, or I should say the flower of life. Okay, let's back up a little bit. Let's go to Ein Sof. Let's go to the void. Let's go to the womb of creation. Out of the womb of nothingness, the womb of creation, is the blueprint, the backdrop, the canvas of existence. And on that canvas of existence, we are projecting ourselves. And it is beyond time. It transcends time. It is now. It always has been. It always will be. And it is now. It is the eternal now. The eternal moment. Everything that ever has existed. Everything that will exist. In all time-space continuum exists now on that backdrop, flower of life, creation. And then, that has layers of consciousness, layers of stories, layers of worlds and stories that we are creating now. And I'm not, from a higher perspective, I'm not healing, I'm not doing anything. I'm painting a new creation. And when I speak I'm in full realization that so are you. It's the point. I'm not speaking that as if Spirit Forge is mine. I'm not speaking that as if the Ark of the Resurrection is mine. I'm not speaking that as if the world is mine, but it is. It is. I'm just in realization that it is. You can have that realization too. That the canvas of creation is yours. There is a sequence of layers to Spirit Forge that I'm building to work with layers of consciousness. I've alchemized myself to lower states of consciousness to bring, again, humans who resonate with me through those layers of consciousness to give them sovereignty and authority. And what authority and sovereignty is just realization of the self, the power that's inside of you. That you are not beholden to me, to the court systems, to the police, to any God outside of you. You are not beholden to any of that. You are the power. You are the source of creation. And for a lot of humans, it's like incomprehensible. And the reason why that is because they're blinded by all of these illusions, these programs. And for some, the deconstruction of those programs is important. For some, they can just listen to this and it will begin to self-destruct. But for some, they need that initiatory process. Some need a healing process. Some need rites and rituals, sacred passages. That's why the ancients operated this way. I am fearlessly standing in the middle way because it's my way. It's not my way or the highway, it's my way. Yeah, that sounded pretty cliche, but cliche is a program designed to dampen your creative capacity. So there, have that. But on that backdrop right now is a great deception. I'm a weapon. I'm a antidote. I'm a healer. Whatever. I mean, I'm just saying words. They all carry different energies. I get that. But how you see that is, irrelevant if you are truly transcendent. Some people want to see me as a weapon. Some people want to see that part of themselves as a weapon. Some people want to see that part of themselves as a healer. Some people want to see that part of themselves as, the 144,000. Some people want to see that part of themselves as all kinds of stuff. To become 144,000 is a choice. To become chosen is a choice. Some of us are ordained to have made that choice. Because on the backdrop of creation, your soul at a higher consciousness level has already chosen your path. And you're not going to... eventually all humanity will make that choice. Whether it be in this body or the next or whatever. I am you and you are me. And if you really transcend that, then what you're seeing is that reincarnation isn't even real. Reincarnation is not real, but neither is heaven and hell and the devil and all of that, none of that's real, but it is. It gets deep, man. So none of it's real because it's not the highest state of consciousness. It's not the true truth. It's not the only way. And if that makes sense to you, or if it doesn't make sense to you, then it's not meant to right now. Oh, it will. It will make sense to you. That is ordained, and it's written in the stars. If you want to know what's going to happen with the world and with your life, look at numerology, look at the stars. These are patterns that are, that's why I say it's a record that's playing. But you have free will, and that is the chariot, the divine chariot. Okay? So all of those, whenever you look at those signs of the record, of the inevitability, when you look at what's inevitable, you're looking at the timeline that you're in. You're looking at the choices that you are in the now of. But it's all inevitable. Because you are all of it. And yeah, so I don't know why I'm still making videos today, but I just felt like compelled to say that. I don't even know if I got my point out. But I love you guys. Peace.